It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity.
And we are live. Good evening to my Bitcoin buddies from around the world. It is Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master. It is 6 p.m. here in the United Kingdom on the 23rd of September 2021. Strong Bitcoin hand, people. You all know by now this channel is about building a strong hand when the markets are volatile, when Bitcoin does what it does, when we least expect it to do it. And all you have to do is hold firm, keep dollar cost averaging, and I can't give financial advice, but I'm totally certain that we will all come out the other side of this absolutely grateful that we bought and we held Bitcoin. So, as always, please tweet this out. It helps the show. Please pick up the link and send it to a few people you know and say, hey, you ought to check this out. It helps get more eyeballs on the show. Really important. If you are new to the channel, check out the disclaimer down here. Really important that you get right from the outset that I don't give financial advice. I'm just a regular dude who goes live twice a week from the UK and wants to talk about Bitcoin. So do your own research and only invest what you could afford to lose if it went to zero. Now, you can check out all of my work at ukbitcoinmaster.com. At the moment, I am in an undisclosed location with my lovely wife, as you can see from the backdrop. I'm enjoying a few days away. But go to ukbitcoinmaster.com. You can check out every video I've ever done. And bitcoininterviews.com, you'll find all the interviews that I've done. I've got some great interviews coming up in October with some leading lights in the Bitcoin space, and I'm massively excited about that. So stay tuned for some more great interviews coming up. Now, Bitcoin is the base layer if you're new. Second layer are things like the Lightning Network, Liquid, etc. If you want to get used to Lightning, if you set up a wallet on your phone, wallet of Satoshi, Moon wallet, something of that nature, you can literally practice sending 10 sats, 100 sats. I think 100 sats is a penny or something ridiculous, and just get used to the Lightning Network. And then if you do something wrong, do you really mind if you lost a penny or a cent? I would probably hazard a guess, no, you wouldn't mind at all. So use my tippin.me QR code if you go to that address as a practice address to get used to moving Satoshis around, because what you need, people, is some vision. You need to have a vision of a world not too far away from now where we are buying goods and services in Satoshis. I think that world is coming. I can't guarantee it is. I don't hold a crystal ball, but I think that world's coming quicker than we think. El Zonte down in El Salvador is, Bitcoin Beach, if you will, is a great example of a circular economy where they are buying and selling using Satoshis. And it's going to come everywhere around the world, I personally believe. Now, when that's going to happen, I don't know. But isn't it good if you're a Bitcoiner to be ahead of the curve and understand how to move Lightning around? Now, a good example is Dave Shackelford from Phoenix. He's in the chat right now. Dave is constantly using my tippin.me address as a new Bitcoiner. And he's literally, Dave, have I said that right? I think you're a new Bitcoiner or relatively new. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat because I'm looking at it. And he's literally introducing people to Bitcoin, setting them up with a wallet in minutes, and then literally showing them how they can move Satoshis across the Atlantic to my address in a heartbeat without third-party agreement. Nobody can stop it, so it's permissionless, etc. And, I don't have that address there for any financial gain. It is there for anybody that wants to drop a tip. Some people have reached out and said, look, you haven't got 1,000 subscribers yet. Help me out here, people. You haven't got 1,000 subscribers, so you can't set up Super Chat. So how can we drop you a tip? There it is. But use it instead for practicing using the Lightning Network is my top advice. Okay, before we go over to the desktop, let's have a look at the few of you that we've got in the house right now. I can see my lovely wife Elaine is in the house. I know that because we're away at an undisclosed location and she's up in the bedroom watching the show so she doesn't have to listen to me. Lance Hoddle's in the house. Welcome, Lance. Alexis Menard, welcome to you. Elia Epping is with us. Paul Rouleau has joined us. Welcome, Paul. M1 Jeep. Hello, Brian. Hello back to you, M1 Jeep. Great to see you in the house. Listen, people, if you want to shout out, if you want to ask me a question, just type in UK Bitcoin Master, then your message, and it will light up my end only, not yours. It will light up in bright orange. I've got 3 monitors on the go here. People say to me, oh my goodness, can't you go away on holiday without loading yourself up with monitors, lights, microphones? You know the simple answer, people? No. If I'm going to do a job, I'm going to do the job well. So all this equipment comes with me, even if we go abroad, which we're not doing at the moment. Bram VDB, welcome. Great to have you in the house as always. Don't forget to pound the like button, people. So let's go on over to the desktop and let's see what's going on. I always, as you know, like to start off by a quick look at the price. You can see we're just a shade above the 44K mark after a bit of a correction. I'm hoping many of you bought that dip because there's not going to be many more dips like this, I don't think, before Bitcoin goes way out of reach for the ordinary common man. Now, currently, as we stand, you can see here, you can see my cursor, you're currently getting 2,270 Satoshis to $1. I remember a couple of weeks ago, that was 1,900 sats to the dollar because, of course, Bitcoin's price was up. So when the price goes down, you get more Satoshis for your money. So where possible, advice, keep some spare cash. And whenever there's a dip, get in there and buy the dip and get more sats for your money. So that said, again, I'll explain if you just joined us again why I'm not running short videos at the moment. And that is because I've got a new M1 Mac, which has only got 2 ports on it, which is a right pain in the butt. And I literally have not got the spare USB-C port to plug the phone in as well as all this equipment and run a video like I've been doing. So when we are back home again, we'll get back to the way that we have been recently running the shows. But for now, I've gone back to the old way, and that's looking at articles to talk about. Now, I'm looking at my second monitor at what the headline was, and it was Bitcoin carbon emissions by 2030. Let's get over and have a look at what that is about. Okay. We keep hearing, don't we, that Bitcoin is bad for the environment. Okay, well, here's an article that says by 2030, Bitcoin energy expenditure and carbon emissions will be 0.4% and 0.9% of global figures, say researchers. So it's not me saying it, it is researchers. The energy utilized in Bitcoin mining will remain below 0.5% of the world's total in the next decade. This figure is projected by a new research paper from the New York Digital, or NYDIG, if you will. Dubbed Bitcoin Net Zero, the study was conducted by Castle Island Ventures partner Nick Carter, very well respected in the space, and NYDIG founder Ross Stevens. The paper shows that Bitcoin's energy consumption will not surge in the coming years. The same applies to Bitcoin's resultant carbon emissions, whether or not Bitcoin prices skyrocket over the same period. Moreover, the study covered how variations in Bitcoin's price, mining difficulty, and energy consumption may affect the network's carbon emission. Even with the most aggressive Bitcoin price outlook of 2030, Bitcoin emissions would still be in a drop in the ocean, the researchers concluded. What I'm trying to do here for you guys that are new to all of this and haven't got this total belief yet, and you can easily be swayed by narratives out there in the media, which I'll show you shortly, by the way, that we've got to stop fearing all this mainstream media rubbish that they keep putting out there. There are tons of studies already now showing that there is no issue at all with Bitcoin's carbon footprint. And in fact, it is going to accelerate the speed of which the world, in quotes, cleans up its act. So it is only going to be good for the environment. Then we look at the next article, which was way more dollars to come into Bitcoin. That is Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary, or Mr. Wonderful as he's referred to. Now, love him or hate him, divisive figure. He is into Bitcoin as well as some other coins, but at least he is pro-Bitcoin and currently saying that I think his position is 3% allocation to Bitcoin, but by the year end, he's going to get that up to 7% in Bitcoin, and he expects lots more money to flow into Bitcoin. But where the debate comes in, he feels that will only happen when all these ESG guidelines are all in place, so that a big institution can see that everything's as it should be, and then they'll pile in. Well, here's the thing, people. If you're a regular pleb like I am, okay, until they start piling in, driving the price through the hundreds of thousands, stack those sats, because you are front running those big institutions. And I find that massively exciting, because in anything we've ever done in the past, no ordinary regular person like me, and hopefully you guys, has ever been given a real opportunity to front run the big institutions. So, he's saying here, this is not going away. This is the new asset class, he told CNBC, predicting there will be trillions of dollars of interest waiting to come on board to cryptocurrencies, with another $1 trillion worth of Bitcoin buying when regulators ultimately name Bitcoin and crypto an institutional asset class. Okay, so when I got into Bitcoin, the narrative was all about us regular people front running those institutions and getting ahead, and us taking control away from banks and the libertarian movement and all of that. Now, here's the thing. Don't beat up on me. We're all different, but I am not a toxic maximalist. I am a maximalist. I only hold Bitcoin, and I have a decent amount of Bitcoin, but I also believe that for this to take those next steps and become a $500,000 Bitcoin, $1 million Bitcoin, in my particular lifetime, if we don't get some institutions in, I'm maybe not going to see it, if that makes sense. Now, as slightly mercenary, I am 80-20. 80%, is to leave a legacy for my children and descendants, but 20% for my wife and I to enjoy, go and see the world, meet some of our Bitcoin friends in person, shake their hands, elbows, give them a hug, whatever we're going to do. So there's an element that I want to enjoy it while I'm here. I'm not just simply doing this all for my children. I'm doing it for us as well. So I'm okay if some institutions want to pile in, if ETFs start to happen, because yes, I believe there's all of us have got an element of speculation in us. And that's where I first came into Bitcoin, with speculation. Of course, as I've gone down the rabbit hole and learned way more, I'm now in it to change the world, make it a better place for generations to come, particularly for my family. So what he's saying is there's loads more. There's millions, billions and trillions to pour into Bitcoin. But we're going to need some of those institutions to come in. Whatever your core belief is in that, that's up to you. I'm just putting this information out there. Now, look at this one from the UK BBC News. I'm highlighting this because the scammers are still out there. And if you're new to all of this, I had somebody reach out to me on Twitter recently saying that they put all their life savings into Bitcoin, and then they were watching a Michael Saylor video and something came up down the right and promised them, if you give us this, we'll give you that. And this individual did give them their Bitcoin and lost it all. And whilst I feel for them and it's horrible, don't ever click on anything advertising under videos or down the right-hand column of YouTube. Never, ever, 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 ever. It doesn't matter whether they're promoting Prince Harry or Richard Branson. Ignore them all, they're scams. And this guy fell for this to the tune of £500,000. Now, I question this because it started off when it talks as an investment scam, putting 250 in, and then, you get your own personalized fund manager, and then somebody else started calling, and then they were saying that, you need to add more to your fund and etc. That would have started sounding alarm bells to me. And then as it goes on, by the end of August, he's been tricked into paying 18,000 sterling and 14.25 Bitcoins worth more than 500,000 at today's exchange rate. So he's saying he's lost over $500,000, but here he's saying 14.25 Bitcoins at the time. People, I'm going to make a statement to you all, and that is this. If something looks too good to be true, it usually is. Now, people at the outset, when we're saying that, get into Bitcoin and a few hundred, a few thousand could turn into something substantial down the road, that is not saying it's going to happen in 2 weeks' time. That is saying if you hold it for a decade. Yeah, that is not a get-rich-quick scheme. That is investment and holding through turbulent times. And anything that sounds like put 250 in and will double, treble or quadruple your money for you in weeks and months, I would run a mile from them. When I speak to somebody about Bitcoin, I sort of look for their instant eyebrow raise reaction, looking thing, oh, here we go type thing. I'll give you an example. Today, we're on one of our timeshare resorts. We've owned timeshare for 25 years, and I personally love it. I use it all the time, even though there's a lot of scam timeshares out there. And the guy said, do you want to come and have a meeting? We'll update you on what's happening with the resort. We said, yeah. He said, we'll give you a free meal for it or something. So we went and sat and we listened to what he had to say. And he was saying that by buying into this new package, for £25,000, you could sell it each year and we'll get you a 5% return. And he knew he'd lost me when I told him that over the last decade at least, Bitcoin has been returning 200% annually on average. And he knew that. And I said, honestly, why would I ever give you £25,000 of my money to buy some bricks and mortar or a share of, when I can put that into Bitcoin and 200% X that every year? And he got it. So he went through what he had to do, and he knew that there was absolutely no way we were going to go for it. So, what we're saying is, when you zoom out and look at Bitcoin since inception, on average, and there's been, massive growth some years, bear market some years, but on average, I believe it's about 196% growth per year since Bitcoin came into existence. So be careful of the frauds, people. But I also want you, if you are new now or in the future watching this, to be very mindful of the headlines that are out there that can frighten noobs to death. And I've collated several of them on a document here. So, some I found literally yesterday. Bitcoin has another volatile week. Are these crypto stocks better? Talking about different ones. Extreme fear as Bitcoin falls below 40k. Bitcoin sets new monthly low. What could trigger a comeback? Bitcoin price sinks 10% as market braces for macro storm ahead. Bitcoin holders take profits as price falls. This one at least said indicators remain bullish. Did Turkey's president say we are in a war against Bitcoin? Bitcoin dives to 40k. Why recovery could be capped? Look, if you're worrying about this sort of stuff, you are thinking day to day. Go back to the chart that I always show at the start, and you'll notice that this particular one is zoomed out over 5 years. So if you look at any 5-year period, you invest and you hold your coins for 5 years, you will always be, your net worth will always be up. If past history is anything to go by, always up from when you initially invested. That's what you need to consider, people. So ignore these rubbish headlines that we see. And I was scrolling down through some of the publications yesterday looking for some articles for the show. And I was just thinking, I've got to show my audience some of these because there's just so many of them out there that are trying to scare people out of their Bitcoin. Don't. Then you look at this one, Diamond Hands. Remaining Bitcoin whales keep on buying the dips. People, you need to understand something. Whales, people that hold, or entities that hold over 1,000 Bitcoins, they like to tank the market. So weak handers or new coin owners sell out with panic and fear, and then they go and mop those coins up cheaply and add to their stash. You've got an opportunity to not particularly maybe be a Bitcoin whale, but certainly front run 95% of the world that have heard of Bitcoin and dismissed it, heard about it, looked at it, and haven't invested anything yet. You are ahead of all of those by buying and holding some Satoshis right now. And even though I can't give you any financial advice, I would encourage each and every one of you to start getting off of ground zero if you're still on zero and get some Bitcoin, because you are then holding a tiny piece of the most prestige asset the world has ever seen and is probably likely to ever see. So in terms of bullishness, again, we keep hearing about sports stars, Sean Culkin, the American football star, and the guy before him, I can't think of his name, who's being paid in Bitcoin. We've now got this guy, Tom Brady. He's a Tampa Bay quarterback. He's now saying he is open to earning part of his salary in Bitcoin and a couple of other coins I don't like to name on my show. Tom Brady, if you're watching this show, which is very highly unlikely, but hey, you never know. There's something called the 6 degrees of separation out there, where we are only 6 connections away from huge people in the world, so you never know. I would say to you, Tom Brady, if you ever find my channel, for goodness sake, get in and learn about what makes Bitcoin so special over every other coin that's out there. And in fact, if you start looking at what this guy, Gary Gensler, the chairman of the SEC, has been saying, he's almost intimating that everything apart from Bitcoin is a security and they're going to go after them all, including Ethereum. Now, I don't know if that's factual or if it isn't, but he's almost saying Bitcoin is secure, it's okay, we're not going to be touching that, we're going to go after all the others. It's almost saying that without verbalizing it. So, Tom Brady, you need to buy and hold Bitcoin, my good man. Quick interlude before we go into some tweets, as always. Shout out to Matthew Underhill. He's a regular in our chat. He's part of our private 21 million club group. Once a month we meet on Zoom and get to know each other and talk Bitcoin. So he's also a friend. But I've got this book. I've read it 3 times. It really is a fantastic read if you're new into Bitcoin or you're thinking of getting into Bitcoin. It keeps your attention. I think that's the easiest way to explain it. He's got an audio book now out there on Amazon, so I've listened to that. And that was beautiful going through that. I'm a listener. I like to lay in bed, just put my headphones on and listen. And I found that awesome to listen to. I really did. So check out the Bitcoin book on Amazon. It really is a good book. And by the way, if you've got it and you've read it, do me a favor, go back to Amazon and leave Matthew a review, because it really helps get more eyeballs on his book. Just like you tweeting this out or sharing it gets more eyeballs on this particular show. Okay, so let's have a look at some tweets. I found this one from Andreas Antonopoulos. And if you're not aware who Andreas is, go back and look at his old archives into Bitcoin. The guy is one clever dude indeed. He really is. In fact, he's the first Bitcoiner that I came across when I got into Bitcoin in May 2017. And he says, Bitcoin can change the world. Access to this technology can change people's lives, especially in places where there is very little access to financial services, to fair and open systems, or the ability to record the truth. That's a bit profound, isn't it? They call Bitcoin the truth machine. And, it doesn't lie. It is totally transparent. John Vallis, I've just connected with John and I'm really hoping to get him on my show as a live guest in the not too distant future. Hopefully he's going to come back to me. Thanks a million to Greg Foss for reaching out to John Vallis on my behalf. Hopefully, John, if you're watching this, connect with me. Let's get you on a future show. Bitcoin dramatically increases your ability to say no. No, I won't support your wars. No, I won't let you steal from me. No, I won't let you coerce me. No, I won't compromise on my principles. No, I won't lie just to fit in. That's why it's called freedom money. Isn't that profound, people? Take back control and don't be coerced by anyone, anything, any government, nothing. Live a life of freedom, both personal and financial, by investing into Bitcoin and then holding it. Vinny Rondo, welcome to the show. Casso's in the house as well. Good to see you back, Casso, as always. What is Casso saying? Breaking. Twitter is launching Bitcoin Lightning Network tipping functionality on iOS. Yep, I have heard that in the grapevine, Casso. And here's the thing, people. All this innovation is also a bit like the narrative for Bitcoin. You know, when we keep hearing slowly, then suddenly. And all this innovation, by the way, is slowly in the background, and then suddenly, and then you see the thing just go loopy, and that's when the FOMO, the fear of missing out, kicks in. People start buying in with all the, the craziness. The price goes up like nutty. More people pile in because they don't want to miss out, and then we get these massive bull runs. I'm not saying that's how it's gonna play out. There's talk that the big pullbacks may be over, super cycles, Dan held, etc. Who knows? The point is, Casso's just said what he said. It is all happening. There's so much innovation going on behind the scenes that regular people like us don't see or know about. You just need to know it's going on. And if it's going on, it means there's nothing wrong with the fundamentals of Bitcoin. Casso, thanks for putting that in there. Normally, unless you type in UK Bitcoin Master, I don't see it. But I just spotted you in the house and saw the words capital letters breaking. So well done. Good job I saw it. Okay, documenting Bitcoin. Follow documenting Bitcoin. Crikey, have they got a following on Twitter or what? If you had bought Bitcoin instead of an $8 a month Netflix subscription for the last 5 years, it would now be worth $6,702. How flipping awesome is that? On BTC Sessions show, he talks about some kind... If any of you know what this is, by the way, put it in the chat, because I keep forgetting to write it down when I'm on Benny's shows. Apparently there's a website that puts in what something you may have bought several years ago, if you'd have put that in Bitcoin instead, might be worth today in Bitcoin terms. If any of you know what that website is, please put it in the chat. That would be superb. What else have we got? Okay, Robert Breedlove. I want to try and get Robert on my show as well. But these people, they are so hard to reach. And that's what I have to do is I have to reach out to some people I get on my show to see if they are connected with them, through Twitter. And if they are, I ask them to reach out on my behalf. So maybe, hopefully, John Vallis might come on the show. We may get... another big hitter, and I can't think. Jeff Booth from the Price of Tomorrow book on the show. I'm currently talking or just connected with Jeff Booth. So there could be some great, cracking interviews coming up. I think October is pretty full up with interviews already, and I don't want to sort of name who they are at the minute, but I've said it at the start of the show. There's some really fantastic Bitcoiners that are due to come on the show in October. So stick around, people. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that all button so that you get notified. When are you going in a tour? I'm not, Casso. I've got another business. I run this show. I've got a family. I want to enjoy life. And I desperately can't go down the Twitter Spaces rabbit hole and the other one. What's the other one out there? I've got an account with Clubhouse. I daren't, because I'm so into Bitcoin. I'll get sucked into that rabbit hole, and I will never in a million years jeopardize my family Bitcoin work-life balance that I've currently got. So I think we all have to draw the line at some point, even with the podcasts that are out there, Casso. Sometimes I just don't have the time to watch them all. So I've chosen 5 or 6 people that I love to follow: Swan Bitcoin, the Kaiser Report, BTC Sessions, Bitcoin Meister, couple of others. And I have to just cut off. Otherwise, it just consumes me. And, I don't want to look back at the end of my life and say, I wish I'd have spent more time with my family, because family is so, 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 so precious. It really is. Notwithstanding, I love Bitcoin, love going live twice a week and talking to you great people that I respect immensely for turning up twice a week to listen to this crazy Brit rant on about Bitcoin. Okay, I've got another tweet here from Greg Zaj1, whatever that is. Why are you, think about this one, people. Why are you running a node? Why are you opening Lightning channels? Easy. I'm following Wayne Gretzky's advice. You don't skate to where the puck is. You skate to where it's going to be. I love that one. Lightning will onboard the next 7.9 billion people to Bitcoin, and I'll be there with open channels. Now, let me be honest. And Casso, you normally come back on something like this. I think it's you, actually. I've got Lightning wallets on my phone, Wallet of Satoshi, Moon Wallet, Blue Wallet, my Tippin.me wallet, or the Lightning wallet. But I haven't yet. And my full node has just resynced. I bought an SSD drive because my hard drive kept failing, and I've just finished syncing it. But I do not have a clue how to open channels, what it means, how you do it. So I'm happy to connect with anybody that wants to give me any guidance. That's great. And I'll learn that, but I'm learning it at my own pace. You see, people, I'm an ex-lorry driver, truck driver of 20 years. I didn't get any education at school. Bitcoin excites the living daylights out of me, but I really struggle to understand the techie stuff. I now can move sats around with different wallets in a heartbeat. Don't worry about it. But opening channels, what it means, etc., I will get to it. But I still feel passionately here that I am ahead of 90+% of the rest of the world. That you say, what is lightning? And they're thinking it's something that happens in the sky on a stormy day. So we're getting there, but I haven't opened any channels yet. But this tweet almost says we need to be ahead of that curve and have those channels open. Okay, people, you know I love quotes. Stick around. We're just about to finish, but I love this one. I always look at a quote that I could somehow mirror with Bitcoin. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope, said Helen Keller. Think about it. Optimism for Bitcoin and where it's going to go is what leads to that strong hand, dollar cost averaging, prices down, instead of freaking out, great big smile because sats are on sale. And by having that mindset, getting in the rabbit hole and learning about what makes Bitcoin so unique that most people, even nation states, won't even bother doing, it is that keeps the optimism that turns into total faith that leads to ultimately achievement by being part of this Bitcoin movement. So nothing can be achieved without hope. And my hope is that long after I'm gone, we will have a better world because Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever he, she, or they are or were, had the vision and foresight to kick off that Genesis block. And here we are 12 years down the road. So people, that is your UK Bitcoin Master live show for today, the 23rd of September 2021. My lovely wife and I are going to get our swimming trunks on now, and we're going to the pool. We're going to sit in the jacuzzi, maybe come back and have a couple of glasses of wine. But whatever you people are doing, thank you for sharing half an hour or so with me. I really appreciate it. Can I ask you all to go back into the comments section when the show is over, click refresh on your browser, and just leave a comment, because it helps it keep it up on YouTube so more noobs can find it. I'd ask you to do that. If you're on Twitter, if you'd kindly retweet my show link out saying maybe hopefully you thought it was a good informative show, I would appreciate that as well. If you'd pick up the link and maybe send it to 5 people you know that you want to get into Bitcoin or are on the brink thinking about it, and say, check this Brit out, he's a crazy Brit but he loves Bitcoin, that would be great as well. You know, whatever you want to do, whatever you don't want to do, it's fine by me. I just thank each and every one of you for supporting me every Monday and every Thursday. So I will be back next Monday at 6 p.m. London, as always, with another show, with some articles to talk about, with a few tweets to look at. I hope you'll come back and join me. Whatever you guys are doing this morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, thanks for tuning in. I'm Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master. Strong Bitcoin hand. Buy it. Get it off an exchange onto a hardware device. Trezor's my choice. And then get on and enjoy your life. Social media links coming up, peeps. Thanks for your support. See you Monday.